Hey everyone, it's Kenji. Today we're going to make a big New York style pizza. So 16 inches, which is the capacity of the Ooni Koda that I have, the Ooni Koda 16. So we're going to start with flour. This is just all-purpose flour because I would normally use bread flour, but I am out of bread flour right now. So all-purpose flour, we're going to go with, we're going in grams. Unit grams, okay. So we're going to go with 350 grams bread flour. All-purpose flour. 220. 3. Actually, you know what? We'll do it 360 just to make the math a little easier. All right, 360 grams. And then we're going to go at 60%. 60% hydration here, so that's 200 plus 40, 240 grams of water. All right, and we're gonna go 240 grams of water. That's 240 milliliters of water. And so we're making a same day dough here, which means that we're going to add our yeast directly to our warm water. So. We want 240 milliliters. Warm-ish water. All right, that's 250. So we'll go 250 and then we'll add our yeast to it and then we'll pour it into the scale to be precise. I'm gonna warm this up in the microwave actually because I don't want to sit there letting water run. And yeast, salt, we're gonna go at 2.5%. So that is about 7 grams. Perfect, that was 7 grams. And 1% of oil. So 3.5 grams. Say 3 to 4 grams, we'll say. There we go. All right, nice warm, nice tepid water. That's what we're looking for, tepid. Where did I put that yeast? Here it is. All right, we got active dry yeast. Instant yeast. Active dry you can add directly. Instant you normally want to mix first, but it honestly, either way, you can mix it into the liquid to get it warmed up and get it going. We're gonna add about 1% yeast here as well. Okay. Just a little bit of a stir. So yeast, it's a fungus, right? So the way yeast is processed, it's alive, but it's dehydrated. So it needs to rehydrate in order to become activated, in order to start digesting, which is what it does. It digests carbohydrates and produces carbon dioxide and alcohol, among other things. So it needs to be hydrated before it can start working. So when I do an overnight dough, like a dough that's going to be fermented a long time, I just mix the yeast directly in with my dry ingredients. But if I'm doing a same day quick dough like this, I like to mix it with my water so that it gets hydrated faster and can get going. All right, now the last thing, I should have measured that, is a little, so we're probably a little bit over 60% hydration, but that's fine. 60 to 65% hydration is what you want. So the last thing we're gonna add is some of this dough enhancer. You can buy this, I think this is King Arthur dough enhancer. I got it online. All it does is it helps with the faster formation of gluten. So it makes your dough like a little bit more stretchable, a little bit faster. I did 2% dough enhancer there. There you go. This is this is not a paid thing, not an ad. I don't do ads. But this Breville Sous Chef food processor, I really like it because other food processors like the KitchenAid or the Cuisinart ones, you can't weigh the bowl. So this one you can weigh the bowl, and because it doesn't have the spindle, it fits in like a blender. Whereas other food processors have a thing that sticks up through the center, so you kind of have to like align the blade and twist it around like that. So it's very difficult with other food processors to weigh things in the bowl and then transfer it directly to the device. Whereas with this Sous Chef, it is much easier to do that, which I really like. If you're familiar with food processors, you'll know what I'm talking about. All right, so we're gonna start it. And what we're looking to do is let this kind of come together into a dough. And once it is in dough form, we're gonna let it go for another 30 seconds or so. So this came together at about 15 to 20, say it came together 20 seconds, we're gonna let it run until it comes to 50 seconds. I find that the food processor is by far, if you're trying to make a same-day dough, by far it's the best way to make a same-day dough, better than a stand mixer. So the food processor, you can use a dough blade, you can use the regular cutting blade, it doesn't really matter. It'll much more quickly form gluten and knead the dough than a stand mixer will, which it's good for two reasons. First of all, for a same-day dough, it makes it stretchable faster. It also makes it so that there's less oxidation. When you do it in a stand mixer, a lot of the more exposure that the dough has to oxygen, the worse the flavor becomes. So basically, the faster you do it, and then the more confined the space that you need in, the better the flavor of the dough. So there we go. That dough is nice and stretchy already. Oh, I should have floured my hands. But we're gonna get a large bowl to stick that in. Whoop. And then we'll take a smaller bowl and place it right on top. All right, so now we're just gonna let that sit for a couple hours. And then we'll shape it, let it do its final rise, and it'll be ready to bake. So I will be back to you in 2 hours. All right, so this is what it looks like now. The only thing I did was I changed this lid. You might notice this is a different lid, but I swear I didn't touch the dough at all. So it's risen quite a bit. I'm just going to pull it over. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly shape it here. Very, very lightly dust it. We don't want it to don't want to put too much flour on it, because we do actually want to be able to gather it up into a ball like this. And if you put too much flour on it, it won't stick to itself, and then you won't be able to ball it. All right. Then we put it on a dry part of the board. Mix it around like this. And that is our ball of pizza dough. So now, nicely floured board. Just gonna cover it like that. And the next time we come back, we'll be ready to bake it, and that will be in 2 hours. All right, so, whew, there's a big ball of dough now. I don't normally make pizzas this big, so as with last time, I messed up pizza. No promises on how this guy's gonna come out, but I'm feeling pretty confident about this dough. This is a dough I've made many times, and this time I'm making it. Here, let me stop this from rocking around a little. This time I'm making it more similar to how I actually normally make it, so I'm pretty confident it's gonna work out. Nice and flexible. That dough conditioner really helps. See if we get some nice window painting going on. So when I do it, I kind of, grasp the outside, let gravity do most of the work. Try and keep your hands nice and wide set, so no like sharp points, so that you don't accidentally tear a hole through the thinner parts, because it will start to get quite thin. All right, so this is a 16-inch peel. I think that's about an 18-inch pie, or a 16-inch pie, right? Very unround, but it's okay. This is why I don't work in a New York pizzeria. Tiniest hole there. All right, feeling pretty confident about this one. All right, so I am going to heavily dust this up. Put a little salt down there too. That one did get a hole. All right. We're basically going to test the capacity of the uni here. See if we can really bake at 16 inches. It's been preheating for about 30 minutes now. So when I use my Ooni Koda, I preheat it on high heat, no matter what pizza I'm going to make, so that the stone is nice and hot. And then I drop the heat down to whatever I need for the specific style. For a New York style pizza like this, I'll probably drop it down to kind of medium because I want it to cook, bake for about 4 minutes or so, as opposed to the 90 seconds that a Neapolitan pizza would take. It's about right. A little more salt, a little olive oil, all right. Now let's really stretch this guy out. Make sure that he's at a full 16 inches. All right, that is 16 inches. Shrunk a little bit on launch. All right, so I guess I got down to about 15 inches on launching it. Cook a little bit more. It's looking pretty good. This is not a New York style sauce, by the way. This is just a straight up San Marzano's pureed with a little salt. That's it. Underbelly's looking pretty good. I think it's all looking pretty good. darker yet? Not quite. Let's let it go a little bit darker. I like my New York pizzas. Relatively well done. Take a look at that underbelly. Nice. So with a Neapolitan pie, you look for those little spots, like those really dark spots, and like sort of a mixture between black and white with high contrast. Where the New York style dough, New York style pizza, it's more of a even brown with black spots. At least that's what I look for. Oh yeah, that's looking great to me. How much time have we been? It's been in for 3 minutes, 48 seconds. We are just about there. Tiny bit more color over here. Yeah, let's go for one more little bit of. Just gonna dome it a tiny bit. Just get a little bit more color on that upper crust. And I'd say we're done. How long is that? 5 minutes. 5-minute bake on this one. Beautiful. Oops, I did not clear a landing zone. Watermelon feta salad, New York pizza. I think this is a pretty swell dinner. Let's do a little extra olive oil on there. All right. Look at that. Whew. That's some good looking pizza. That's some great pizza. All right, Shabu, that's for you. Come here. Sit. Sit. Shabu, here. Sit. Good girl. All right, I'm going to call my family before I eat all this myself. And I'll see you later. That's it. So 15.5-inch pie, 5-minute bake, Ooni Koda 16. I think I probably could have got it to 16 inches if I had got it off the peel a little bit with a little bit more precision and care, but I didn't. So there you go. Bye.